So now President Trump just got asked the question we've all been wondering. Would he ever pardon Diddy? And honey, his answer, not a yes, not a no, but a whole lot of, well, let's see. Meanwhile, Fox News' Peter Doocy straight up put Trump on the spot during an Oval Office presser, asking if he'd consider clemency for Sean Combs, aka Diddy, who's currently facing federal racketeering and sex trafficking charges. And y'all, Trump's response? Nobody's asked, but I know people are thinking about it.
You mentioned once in 2012 that Diddy was a good friend of yours back then. He has since found himself in some very serious legal trouble.
Yeah, that's right.
Would you ever consider pardoning him?
Well, nobody's asked. You had to be the one to ask, Peter, but nobody's asked. But I know people are thinking about it. I know they're thinking about it. I think some people have been very close to asking. First of all, I'd look at what's happening, and I haven't been watching it too closely, although it's certainly getting a lot of coverage. I haven't seen him. I haven't spoken to him in years. He used to really like me a lot, but I think when I ran for politics, he sort of, that relationship busted up from what I read. I don't know, he didn't tell me that, but I'd read some little bit nasty statements in the paper all of a sudden. You know, it's different. You become a much different person when you run for politics and you do what's right. I could do other things, and I'm sure he'd like me, and I'm sure other people would like me, but it wouldn't be as good for our country. As we said, our country's doing really well because of what we're doing. So I can't, it's not a popularity contest. So I don't know, I would certainly look at the facts. If I think somebody was mistreated, whether they like me or don't like me, it wouldn't have any impact on me.
Also, let's not miss the shade. Trump casually mentioned that he and Diddy used to be cool, until politics got in the way. I suspect he stopped being my friend once I got into politics, Trump said, like he wasn't just stirring the pot with that little nugget. But here's the kicker. He claims their past friendship wouldn't influence his decision. If I think somebody was mistreated, whether they like me or don't like me, it wouldn't have any impact on me. Sure, Jan. But wait, if you thought this was just about legal technicalities, think again. Trump's whole "I haven't spoken to him in years" line? That's the kind of drama that writes itself. Is this a subtle hint that Diddy ghosted him? Or is Trump just keeping his options open in case he needs a hip-hop ally in the future? Either way, we'll be watching. You see, this is why politics and celebrity culture will always be messy. One minute they're besties, the next they're, oh, we don't talk anymore. Meanwhile, Diddy's over here fighting federal charges, and Trump's out here leaving the door wide open for a possible pardon.
Yeah, but in the Diddy case, some people are saying innocent and some people are saying guilty. And what I'm saying is that the circle keeps going around. It's, oh no, he's guilty. Oh, no, wait, he's innocent. Wait, he's guilty. And it's a circle, and I'm gonna tell you why. All these witnesses get into the stand, like Cassie explaining her story. It was horrible. It was horrific. It was like a bad boyfriend, the drama and domestic violence, abuse or whatever. And then you get to, obviously, Capricorn Clark, another violent situation, right? But she worked there for all these years, just like Cassie, all those years. And then you get to Kid Cudi. And Kid Cudi's like, yeah, my car exploded, was on fire, there was a bomb in there, all this and that. And at the end of the testimony, he goes, yeah, but Cassie was playing both of us. And you're like, wait, hold on a second. You just took us through a loop here, and he spun it around, and the jury's sitting there like what? There's got to be a lot of people going, oh man, the sighing in the courtroom is going to get worse and worse and worse. And the defense is like, mistrial. It's a mistrial. Why? And the judge is like, no, we're moving on, we're proceeding. But here's why they said that. You can't now have the audience thinking that he actually did, in fact, put a bomb in that car when he did not. Or just for the simple fact that they're trying to push that, and that evidence is not true. The judge is like, we got to move on. And the jury's like, we just heard that. We can't forget that remark. The jury's sitting there going, yeah, but we just heard that. Like, we're not going to forget. Do you think Diddy is going to beat this case or not?
It is Thursday, day 12 in the Diddy trial, and we hear from victim number 4 today, and boy, does she have some details. First, back on the stand is Deontay Nash, and he says that Cassie did start communicating with actor Michael B. Jordan after her and Sean broke up. During cross-examination, he testified that Cassie never mentioned to him anything about the freak-offs from 2008 to 2013. He said that he remembered seeing Cassie with a black eye. He saw it on video call and in person. He recalled a time when he spotted a random man joining Cassie in her Las Vegas hotel room without Sean there. Next to take the stand is victim number 4, who will only be referred to as Mia, and the judge has instructed them to not even do sketches of her. Mia describes her time working for Sean as chaotic and toxic. The highs were really high and the lows were really low. Puff's mood determined the environment. He threw things at me. He threw me against the wall. He threw me in the pool. He threw stuff at my head. He sexually assaulted me, and on more than one occasion. She said she worked for Sean from 2009 to 2017. She applied when she was only 25 years old. She was promised a compensation of $55,000, but ended up only being paid $50,000. She testified that once she worked 5 days straight without sleeping. We were traveling Las Vegas. There was always things going on. She says, I had a physical breakdown. My hearing went. It felt like I was underwater. My equilibrium was off, blurred vision. Out of nowhere, I was hysterical. I couldn't stop crying. Puff said she should go to sleep. She testified that when she traveled with Sean or stayed at his properties, she was not allowed to lock the door. Puff said, this is my house and no one locks the doors. Although she remembers the rule didn't seem to apply to the predominantly male security team that stayed in rooms with deadbolts and keypads. Mia says she managed Sean's social media presence, served as a liaison between Sean and Hollywood, managed his daily routines, and kept him on schedule. She said she had to stay attached to her BlackBerry and within eyesight of Sean and anticipate his needs and his moods. Every day was different. It could be 17,000 things at one time, from doing taxes to writing his next movie. He could also want you to just stand next to him for 24 hours and not ask you to do one thing. Mia says her and Cassie grew close, became like sisters and best friends. They still keep in contact today. She says that her and Sean, Cassie and Sean, had a rocky relationship with lots of highs and lows that often included abuse from Sean. She says that when Cassie was filming the movie The Perfect Match, Sean would often be on set and insert himself into production. She was asked what would happen when she did something without Sean's permission, her or Cassie, and she said the punishment was unpredictable and terrifying. If Cassie didn't pick up the phone when Sean called, multiple people would call and text her, and security would show up if they couldn't find her. She said she saw Cassie with injuries. She also saw Sean attack Cassie and throw her on the ground. I've seen him crack her head open. She did not recall ever seeing Cassie fight back. Mia recalled a time she found Cassie hiding in the bushes, terrified look in her eyes, trying to hide from Sean. Mia recalled the time her and Deontay were at Cassie's helping her pack for a trip. Sean showed up banging on the door, came in screaming at Cassie, asking her if she's been drinking, threw her to the ground. She says her and Deontay immediately jumped in and tried to stop it. We were both just trying to get him off her. At some point, he had Deontay in a position where I was scared he was going to kill him. I jumped on his back. Nash testified about this same incident yesterday. She says, he threw me against the wall so easily and quickly, I realized we were in real danger. He then slammed Cassie's head into the corner of the bed and it was gushing blood. After all of this took place, he then told Mia to get in touch with a plastic surgeon to fix up the gash in Cassie's head. Prosecutors asked Mia to describe how Sean appeared during the incident. She said his eyes turned black. There was like no getting through to him. I was trying to get him to stop and it was like he was looking through me. She realized the severe danger that we were actually in. At this point, they take a break for lunch. Mia's going to be back on the stand after the break. Make sure you're following me. I'll post that recap later on.